What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today, and today we have another singular model unboxing for you guys. I really hope you guys are excited for today's unboxing, as today we have a really cool model to unbox. I'm really excited to get into this. I've been wanting this model for quite some time now, and I finally got a really good deal on eBay for it, so I'm really excited to get it out. So let's just dive into it. So I already gave you guys some context clues. I've been wanting this model for quite some time, and I just haven't found a good opportunity to get it. I finally found a pretty good opportunity. While it wasn't the perfect situation, because I'll have to show you guys what the problem is with this model. It's not a major one, but it is a minor one that I had to compromise, but it did save me some pretty good money on it, so I thought it was a good deal, and I'm definitely excited for it if I can get it open. So this model I've been meeting for a couple airports for quite a few months now, as they've started coming in regularly to a variety of airports, but nevertheless I'm really excited to get it, as there it is on the back of the box. We have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Air Canada Boeing 737 MAX 8. So yes, I'm very excited to get this model. It does have one minor defect, but outside of that, it is a really good model, and I'm very excited to have this, as the Air Canada 737 MAX has been making appearances at Orange County and Phoenix as of late, and I've really wanted to represent it accurately, so I'm really excited to finally have this model. Again, got a really good deal on it. I think it was around the $30 mark, but nevertheless, let's not waste any further time and get into this. Again, very excited to have this, and this will be a very nice asset. So let's get started. So you have the GeminiJets made for collectors by collectors. You have the CGI, the 737 MAX, and then you got the Boeing 737 MAX 8 and Air Canada. I believe this model came out sometime in the 2018-2019 time frame, if I'm remembering correctly, but ultimately a really nice box here. Again, nice and simplistic. Gemini does it best. And this model was a 2018 release. So you got the Air Canada trademark, Boeing 737, you got the aircraft climbing. This is a really interesting time, as I believe the 737 MAX got grounded around the time that this model came out. Could be wrong on that, but nevertheless, this is going to be a really good model. I'm very excited to get into it. So let's take a look at the pamphlet here. As you guys can see, here is the information right here, all the literature, as they do a really good job describing it. And here's the model inside. Really excited to have this. I think this is only my third or fourth new livery Air Canada airplane, so I'm really excited to continue to grow this collection, and it'll be really good. So here is the model inside, and let's get inside and take a look at this. So here we go. Alrighty, so we take the plastic off here, and here is the model. Alright, so unfortunately, one of the engines snapped off in the shipment process, which is quite unfortunate, but we'll glue that on and make it look good. But just to kind of address the word around the campfire, the only slight issue is, as you guys may be able to see, it's not the best lighting, but let me show you guys here. There is a little bit of paint smearing right there on the bottom of the fuselage, but I do have an idea to fix that. So outside that, this is a perfect model, and obviously it's going to need a little bit of gluing on the engine, but outside that, we're looking good. So let's get it out and take a look. And here we have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Air Canada Boeing 737 MAX 8 by GeminiJets. A really nice aircraft right here. Really liking the looks of it from the initial glance. I'm really excited to dive into the details and talk all about this aircraft. Again, a very helpful asset and a really good one for the collection. So let's get started. Alrighty, so beginning up here, you have the cockpit windows and the nose cone shape. Now, this nose cone doesn't seem quite as good as what GeminiJets has been doing recently, but it's still a pretty good nose cone. I think they did a pretty fair job on it, so not too bad, especially considering how new the Boeing 737 MAX was at the time. So not bad at all. Pretty good right there, and that's looking pretty good. Then you got the Star Alliance logo along with the L1 boarding door, and then the nose landing gear right here. Looking pretty good on those details. Good job by Gemini right there to make those happen. And then this is where we're going to head into the first class area of the passenger section, and that's going to be right here. And then, of course, you have the Air Canada patch right here as well, which looks really good. And then the Air Canada billboard titles. I can't remember the last time I saw Air Canada MAX, if I even have. I thought I have at some point, but it seems like these titles may be slightly big. I'm not completely sure on that, so don't take my word on that, but they definitely look a little large. So maybe it's just me, but that's still looking like a really nice detail right there from Gemini. They did a good job on that. So then the economy would start right around here. The windows all look really nice and some good applicable detail with the pitot tubes and whatnot. So good job there by Gemini. And then taking it into the middle section of the aircraft, you got the antenna up here, and then the emergency exit right here, the pads right here. I'll give you guys a better view of that. And unfortunately, one of the early problems with the GeminiJet 737 MAX mold when it was brand new, when this model came out, was that the engines were pointed up significantly. Now, I can't really tell what this one's going to end up being. I think it'll be a little better, but this one unfortunately came out really high, and it looks like it's a rocket ship. So that's quite unfortunate, but outside that, it still looks pretty good. And of course, you got some detail down there on the chevrons as well, which look really good. I don't know if that's the applicable name for those or whatever they're called. The part that I'm talking about is right here. Please don't destroy me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. I'm not a very big expert when it comes to naming items, but they sure do look cool, so I will say that. So that's looking really good. Here's the winglet of the Boeing 737 MAX. It looks really nice. I really like the design of it. Of course, two 45-degree angles, or not quite 45. I think the top one's more like probably like a 35 or 40, and then the bottom one's more like a, I'm just taking a guess here, I honestly don't know, probably like a 30 or a 35. So nevertheless, it's a very innovative design, and it's supposed to save fuel, so I like it. So good job there by Gemini for representing that on the mold here. Then you got the flaps, slats, speed brakes as per usual. Good detail on this mold. I really like how they did that, so very nice job right there. That looks really good. And then out here, of course, you got the main landing gear and whatnot. They look really good as well. I think they did a good job on that. Of course, we'll take a more in-detailed look here in a minute. The Wi-Fi box looks really good on this aircraft. I think they did a very good job with that. Along with the final antenna, and then the registration, a Charlie Foxtrot Tango Juliet Victor, really nice. And then the Boeing 737 MAX tiles right there, the L2 door, and then, of course, you got the Air Canada flag right there with the patch. I personally really like this livery. Let me know in the comment section how you guys feel about this livery, but I think it's a really nice one. I thought they did a really good job. Along with the APU housing and the horizontal stabilizers as well. Taking it into the right side of the aircraft, pretty similar to the left. Of course, you got the luggage doors and also engine that's took off. If you've ever been wondering what the top of the wing looks like with the indentation, this is what it looks like without the engine on it, excuse me, which I think it looks pretty good, honestly. It turned out really nice. So good job right there by Gemini for representing that nicely despite their QC on the models, but it is what it is, what can I say. And then, of course, there's the paint smearing once again. I thought this is a pretty hard model to find, so I thought for the price, I thought that was pretty reasonable. I haven't decided if I'm going to use whiteout or white paint to try to touch that up. I'm definitely going to be trying one or the other. I'm sure that hopefully I can be successful with it. I'll definitely tape off the bottom part right there so I don't mess up any of that. So I'm not sure how I'll do on it, but hopefully this will put my skills to the test, and hopefully I'll do a good job. I'm kind of leaning towards whiteout, but honestly, I'm not sure. I don't want it to be like a rough replacement, if that makes sense. But nevertheless, I thought for the price, it was definitely worth it. And it's not necessarily easy to notice, but also not hard. So kind of a moderate issue, if that makes sense. But, you know, it's one of those deals. And of course, you got the tail right there, along with the horizontal stabilizer and all that applicable detail. Looking very good. On the top side of the aircraft, of course, you got some really nice detail, especially on the wings. I really like the curvature there and the indentations. It looks really good right there, along with the antennas, the beacons, and all those fun items. And on the bottom of the aircraft, of course, you got all the applicable detail, including the Air Canada patch underneath, the stand hold, the GeminiJets logo, and the red line under there as well, towards the front near the main landing gear, which looks really good. Then you also got a patch right there as well. I don't think that's like an opening compartment like the T-tail airplanes. Not exactly sure what that is, but I really like the design of it. It looks really good. Really nice job. And the landing gear do look a little interesting. Maybe it's because I've seen so many Herpa, Dragon Wings, and Aero Classics models recently, but they seem like they're more like they look different. They look a lot different, in fact. I'm not sure what's going on with these tires, but they don't seem like Gemini ones. I mean, I could pull up another Max over here, but they just don't seem the same. Possibly it's because they have the black dill right there, where the normally they would be white on other liveries, so maybe that's what's throwing me off. They just seem a little different, so I mean, they look fine. Of course, there's no issues with them. They just looked a little different from the glance, but now that I'm settling into the looks, I think that those are the applicable landing gear, but definitely interesting to say the least. And yeah, everybody, that's the Air Canada Boeing 737 MAX 8 by GeminiJets. So ultimately a pretty good aircraft. There are some small QC defects that are unfortunate to say the least, but they're not a huge deal and definitely going to get past those, and including the smear as well. But that's definitely fixable. So not the end of the world by any means, but definitely something to note right there. Alrighty guys, so I ended up doing some paint pen on the paint smudge, and it actually turned out really well. I honestly thought that it came out really good. I did mess it up a little bit, so that's why there's a little smear at the top, but ultimately for my first try, I thought it turned out pretty well. So feel free to let me know what you guys think about in the comment section. But for $30, and it's kind of hard to recognize anyways, I thought that it turned out pretty good. While yes, you can definitely pick up on it if you know about it. It's one of those deals that it really makes the model quite better. So I thought that it turned out really well and definitely worth the money cut. So I thought that that was really good and ultimately a really nice model, and I just thought I would update you guys since I got it fixed. So really nice stuff right there. But ultimately still a pretty good aircraft. So a couple of facts about this Boeing 737 MAX 8. As you guys know, it's one of the newer 737s, and they started making this aircraft all the way back in the early 2010s. But of course, with how successful the 737 Classic was in 737 MAX 8, they integrated it into the 737 MAX, which turned into what it has. And then they have had quite a few orders for the Boeing 737 MAX 8, and I think they've done pretty well with it as of recent. Of course, you had the whole grounding situation and everything. I'm sure you guys know all the details about that. But this particular airframe has a construction number 61207. The line number is 6634. The registration is Charlie Foxtrot Tango Juliet Victor, as I mentioned. There are two CFM LEV engines on this aircraft, which are quite nice, and they get quite a bit of range, so I really like those. So good job right there. And then the the delivery date of this aircraft was November 1st of 2017, with the first flight on October 19th of the same year. The maximum takeoff weight is 181,200 pounds. The cruising speed is 521 miles per hour, which I think equates to somewhere in the ballpark of like 580 or 90 knots. Could be wrong on that, but I think that's about where it is. The range is pretty impressive, 4,045 miles, so that pretty much could put it over the Atlantic Ocean pretty easily. And then the seating has a 162 for the mixed cabin. I think that's what Air Canada uses. I'm pretty sure, could be wrong on that. But then the high density is 175 seats. So ultimately a really nice model here. Very glad to have this one. I think it is, oh my gosh, I can't talk today. A really nice aircraft. Again, just a couple of small QC defects, the nose, and now looking at the landing gear again, I don't think it's as big of an issue. I guess I was just so accustomed to seeing some of the previous tires, but I really like the mold's still pretty good for the most part. The engine size is pretty applicable outside of the positioning of the engine itself. The landing gears are pretty fair. The fuselage is about right. There's also a little bit of wing flex over there on the left engine, or left wing, but it's not near as significant as some of the other models. So it's still a really nice model, and I think it's going to be very applicable, especially for the Orange County and Phoenix model airports, as I previously referenced. Those are going to be big time. This will be a big time asset for those, as I think Orange County has Vancouver daily basis on the MAX right now, and for the indefinite future. And I honestly don't know what's happening over there at Phoenix, but I think that they've received these quite regularly. So nevertheless, I'm really glad to have this aircraft. I think it will be a very good one for the collection, and very glad to expand on the Air Canada fleet. So with all that being said, that will do for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon, as Redriveraviation is signing off.